Hey guys, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be telling you guys how my immigrant parents came to America and they turned $1, which they started off with like 70 rupees, which was what they had, and they turned that into 500,000 plus dollars. So let's get into it. So let's start off with their background. So my parents were both in India, so they both lived in different parts. So my mom lived in one part, my dad lived in one part. My mom grew up in a decent sized family, but not anything crazy. And she went to school for accounting, but she didn't even end up getting the degree. But yeah, she spent 3 years, but she failed her fourth one because she had to take a test and she felt that she didn't have enough money to repay, like to pay the fees for the test. So her journey ended right there. And then my dad, their parents had a farm, but it wasn't anything crazy because it was split between 5 people, and they grew up in a poor area. Both of them didn't have much to begin with, and when they did get married and came to America, that's when everything started to change. And yeah, they were in very bad poverty because the standard of living there isn't that good in certain areas, but a lot of the times it's mainly comes down to like what you have and how you utilize it, which we're going to the next one, which was immigration. So after my parents got married, they came to America and decided to settle down over there and just start a new life there because in India they saw how poverty was and everything, and when they came here they still wanted to give back to their families that were there and everything, but they worked really hard for a really long time. They worked labor jobs for a long time and saved up their money and everything. And they went through a lot of hardships and struggles when they came to America because they did not know how to speak English, and it was just a big mess. So they had to start off at the lowest. I remember their first income, they told me it was like 1,000 a year. And that's kind of crazy for like how much they would work, because I'm pretty sure immigrants don't make that much. Work and circumstances. So they worked intense hours. So yeah, they did work a lot. They worked overtime, 40 plus hours. They just kept grinding. I would say they kept working really hard for like 30 years plus. I'm not telling you guys to do that, but I'm just saying that working hard will really work into saving up to that 500K goal or even more than that. It's not always about getting the best job, it's always about how you use it and how much work you put into it. They got paid minimum wage, which was like, I think they got paid like, I don't know, but I know it was really small amount of money, probably less than $18, but they still worked through that. They lived in, okay, so we did live in a small apartment. It was in Northfield, Ohio, and it was like 5 of us, and some of us slept on the floor, and then there was 2 twin beds, and they slept in there. But yeah, it wasn't really too much privacy or anything. So like as you guys can see, like we didn't grow up with a lot of money in here already. We had a big family, so it wasn't as comfortable living in that area because the apartments were so small and people were loud at night and the area wasn't the best. Language barriers were also a big problem. I would have to go out and help them do filing for bills, tax returns, W-2s, and everything just to keep everything going. So, this is the main part. So, after they came and did all the saving, they started to build long-term wealth. So 401k was really important. So after they saved a lot of money, they took a bundle of that money and they put it into 401k. I'm not just saying that you guys should use 401k, but 401k is pretty good because it's pretty stable and it doesn't like affect like crazy levels. It's really good for retirement as well. So a lot of people do use it. It's nice and stable, but this shouldn't be like the main source of how you're going to make the money. This is just a very smart idea of how to save up and keep it for retirement. Investing. So yeah, they also did invest their money as well. They invested in buying a house, and that was a really good investment, by the way. And then investing in some stocks. They did invest in some stocks. S&P 500 is a really good stock to invest in because that stock like has Apple, Google, and all types of other stuff right in that small little thing. S&P 500 is just like a big thing of small apps or organizations, corporations and stuff. It's really good to invest in. And yeah, they also managed their money very well. That's how they were able to get to the point they are right now with the houses and assets. A lot of it came from managing the money and making sure where the money was going and asking questions if anything seemed off or anything to make sure everything was right and nothing was going off. So managing also does play a big role in this as well. Let's get into assets. This is also a big one. House. So a big important part is looking at the markets because when my parents bought a house, it was worth around 300K dollars, right? Because they bought it back in 2018-ish, 2017. They bought the house and now it's worth over $500,000, just the house. The house alone is worth $500,000, which is crazy because if you look at the markets right now, buying houses is so expensive now. So if we were to pay this whole house off and everything, we could put it up for rent or sell it, which would be like other side profits you can make. This buying a house would be a great type of profit and an asset to have because you could have the asset and just keep it and use it, or whenever you're not using the house or you're planning on moving or anything or want another side of income, you could rent the house as well. And then cars. We do have 3 cars, and cars are a really good asset because they cost not that bad depending on which type of car you get, and that adds to your like overall net worth. And then also cars you could sell, but depending on the mileages and everything. Valuables. So this is one of the most important parts, gold. My parents bought gold a lot. Indian families, it's very typical to have a lot of gold because gold is just like the currency, like in India. Like a lot of the family, a lot of the people have gold. It's very valued. And according to the internet and everything, Indians are like one of the ethnic groups with the most amount of gold as well. But my parents bought gold from long time and now they have a whole bunch of it, and the worth and the amount of that gold is worth way more than what it was before. So gold is something that will never go down in value because it's just always used and always needed. So those are all important things. Well, that's basically it for this video. This covers like a small sector, but I might make another video of going into detail. This is just an overview to give you guys like the overall view of everything and how my parents got to that 500K plus mark. It really just takes a lot of time and commitment, especially if you're like an immigrant or new to the country. It's mainly about just saving your money, learning how to manage it, and if you can't manage it, there's people that can help. But managing is really important as well, and you should always take take risks because nothing nothing is possible without risks these days. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.